Hey everyone, Austin here again with another Let's Play video. Today, it's actually the start of October. Or maybe for you Patreon backers, it's still the end of September, as you guys get these videos a week early, but for everyone else, it is the start of October as of uploading this video. This basically kicks off probably the best time of the year on this channel, and that is, well, horror-themed Let's Plays and videos and live streams in general. So we're gonna kick it off with Shadowgate. This is, you know, a personal favorite of mine when it comes to 8-bit Nintendo games. It's a point-and-click adventure game. It was originally a Macintosh game back in 1987, and then in '89 it was ported to the NES. And a really cool soundtrack was slapped on top of it as well by a Japanese composer. I believe the original Shadowgate on the Mac, it might not have had any music at all. It was probably just sound effects. I've seen a playthrough of the Mac one before, but it's been years. I'm gonna have to go verify that, but I'm pretty sure there wasn't really any music in that version of the game. But yeah, so we're gonna kick things off again with Shadowgate. Before we jump into this though, as usual, I want to give a big shout out to my current Patreon backers. Patreon backers, I apologize if your names weren't displayed in these last 3 or 4 videos. I was basically a month ahead of my Let's Play schedule. I try to record my videos in advance so I don't have to just, you know, pump one out the day before it's supposed to go up every week. So several of you guys weren't in my previous Let's Plays, but we got a couple of pledges this past month. Yona Camuso, I probably just butchered that, but thank you. Clifton Knight, thank you as well. And James Campbell, thank you, sir. Those are the 3 new patrons from this last month. Also, as usual, the super chats just flew by, so thank you guys for super chatting on my live streams. I do live streams every Thursday, so feel free to hang out on those. And just a heads up in regards to the live streams, for October, I'm going to be doing more live streams as well. Tuesday mornings, starting usually around 8 a.m. Eastern Time. We'll probably go for 2 to 4 hours, and I've got a couple of games planned for that. So if you're one of those folks on the other side of the world that can't catch me on my late Thursday night streams, you got the opportunity to try to catch me early Tuesday, Eastern Standard Time. So early Tuesday for me is early afternoon for lots of other people on the other side of the world, or late afternoon. So if you guys are around, feel free to stop by and say hello. So without further delay, let's go ahead and jump into it. So Shadowgate does allow you to save your progress. We're not really going to be using that, because one of the nice things about Shadowgate is that you can continue pretty much infinitely, and it just throws you back on the previous room you last visited. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and read the text in this game. So it says, the last thing that you remember is standing before the wizard Blackmere as he waved his hands. Now you find yourself starting at an entryway which lies at the edge of a forest. The druid's words ring in your ears. Within the castle Shadowgate lies your quest. The dreaded warlock lord will use his black magic to raise the behemoth. I never knew how to pronounce behemoth. Is it behemoth? Behemoth. Yeah, to raise the behemoth from the dark depths. This is a test in Austin's reading comprehension skills, guys, so this could be quite embarrassing, actually. I don't usually play these types of games on my channel. The combination of his evil arts and the great titan's power will surely destroy us all. You are the last of the line of kings. I think in the original version it's like the last of the hero kings or something like that, according to what I read online. The seed of prophecy that was foretold eons by God. So basically there was a prophecy that says you're going to come here and kick this guy's ass and not die. Because Shadowgate gives you lots of opportunities to die, and I'll talk about that as we go on. I'm hopefully not gonna die as I do this playthrough, because I know exactly what to do in this game. We can just blaze right through it when, you know, we know what to do. But I'll talk about the deaths as we go. I won't show them to you just to save time. But if you decide to play this game on your own, trust me when I say you will experience lots of deaths when you play this game. And that's one of the fun things about Shadowgate. Okay, only you can stop the evil one from darkening our world forever. Fare thee well. And gritting your teeth, you swear by your god's name that you will destroy the warlock lord. And that's pretty much it. So Shadowgate, you've got this menu system here, and this is pretty much what the entire game looks like. The bottom left-hand portion of the screen has this movement box here. So you can either look at things and just click on them, If it's a door that's unlocked, it'll open automatically, just like so. And, or you can use this down here. You don't have to, like, here, I'll demonstrate it up here. We'll just click there, and we've gone through the door. That pitiful wizard Lackmere was a fool to send a buffoon like you to stop me. And I guess this is the warlock talking. You will surely regret it, for the only thing here for you is a horrible death. And that's actually true, to a degree. The sound of maniacal laughter echoes in your ears, and the warlock basically fades away. So what we're going to do here is actually go back, because there is a key that we have to find. And you can use the open function here, and this little skull here, you want to click it on that, and that reveals a key. As if by magic, the skull rises. And we're going to come down here to our take function. We're going to be using these two functions a lot, open and take. And there's going to be a couple times where we're going to use the use function, and a couple of times where we're going to use the speak function, and one time when we're going to hit or use the hit function. We might use the look function once. Some of these functions are kind of useless though, like close, leave, things like that. But as I said, you can actually just click down here in the bottom left-hand portion, and that will also get you through the game as well. So there's a couple of different movement options. You don't actually have to click this movement box. It's actually kind of weird. It's just unnecessary. You can just click on where you want to go. There's another mechanic in Shadowgate. It's the torches up top. If those torches run out, all dark, you know, you basically just get shrouded in darkness, and it's game over, basically. So, if you ever see torches in this game, you want to pick them up. So the torch is in hand. We just use the take function to do that. And one thing we're going to do is use the torch. What do you want to use this on? On the carpet. And this is just to demonstrate something that's going to be necessary later on in the game. The rug quickly catches on fire and burns away. So that's just to demonstrate to you that you can do that. You can just use the use function, click on your torch, but we're going to actually click on the key. What do you want to use this on? And we want to use it on this door. Click! The key worked to unlock the door. The stone walls seem uncomfortably close as you walk down the stairs. Alright, so this is actually where, you know, in the first instance you can potentially die. What we're going to do is we're going to take these torches, and what we're going to do is, instead of taking the book, we're going to go ahead and open it. The book is open and examined. A rectangular hole has been cut out of the inside of the book, and basically what this does is, it's like us opening the book, and we see a key that's actually on the inside. And we need this key. Alright, so there's actually a door right here. It's sort of like a secret passageway. We're not going to go there just quite yet. So we're going to use the boxes down here and go to the right. The stones in these walls are probably cut by the hands of enslaved mountain dwarves. And one thing I'm going to do is we're going to take the right-hand path, and we're going to go there. A shark swims by as if patrolling this calm pool. And you can see there's a door up top, so we're going to go ahead and go there. Water cascades over a subterranean cliff into a cool, clean stream. And there's some rocks here on the ground. You can actually take them. You only actually need one if you know what to do. So we're going to go ahead and just take one. The stone is in hand. However, you'll notice there's a little gap here. You can actually go through there, and it's actually sort of hinted by... Oops. Sorry. The way is blocked by a landslide, and even with your might, you cannot clear yourself a path. So down here, it's actually... This is interesting. This doesn't really happen very often in the game. So this little box here indicates this blocked passageway. It looks like a stairwell of sorts. But there is actually a hidden area right here. You want to click on the black area, and you'll squeeze behind the waterfall. It says the walls of this room are much too close for comfort. The damp walls of this eerie cavern are rough and irregular. Bleh, I can't talk. Alright, so we're going to actually use the hit function here. We're going to use it on this odd-shaped piece. You hit the rock as hard as you can, and it makes a pretty pathetic NES thud. The loose rock falls down as if hinged to the wall. And bags in this game, you don't need to take the bags, you just need to open them. The bag contains 3 large jewels, and we need these jewels to progress. So we're going to take each one. And so you can see we've got our inventory up here. We can use this card system to the right, and that basically scrolls through your items, whatever bag or object you might have open, as well as your general inventory of spells. So this is what we have so far, and we're gonna actually go ahead and take a torch. No, I'm not gonna do it yet, because you can see the torch animation is still large. It's still a large sprite. When it shrinks down, that's when you know your torch is running out. And when your torch is at, just about to run out completely, creepy music will start playing, letting you know that, okay, you need to relight another torch. Alright, so that's that. We're gonna go ahead and exit down here. And we're gonna work our way back out to that 3-way intersection, or I guess technically it's a 4-way since there was a door behind me. What I'm gonna do is actually, I'm gonna go forward first, because there is something I have to do here. This long, cold hallway is lined on either side by half a dozen coffins. And so there's a couple of things we need to do here. We can just get a little jump scare if we want. The lid of the coffin is open. Not much by today's standards, of course. As you open the tomb, a banshee flies out and emits an ear-shattering scream. You're alright, but it's very hard to hear. So what we want to do is focus on these two right here. The lid of the coffin is open, and this reveals another bag. And actually, this one was unnecessary. It reveals copper coins, which is actually unneeded. You don't need these. But it's this one to the far right that's important. A mummy stands silently before you. And what we're going to use is actually our torch on the mummy, our lit torch on the mummy. So we're going to basically catch it on fire. The mummy bursts into flames, leaving behind a scepter among the ashes. And we're going to use this scepter later on in the game. And we don't need anything else in the next room. We're going to end up in the next room, but we're going to go to the next room from a different direction. And now that we've done that, we're going to go to this left-hand side. You enter a cold room. The stench of flesh and the decay. Oh, the stench of decay. The stench of flesh and decay pervades the small chamber. You begin to shiver. This room is really cold. Obviously, you guys can tell I don't do this very often when I play adventure games. Even on stream, I don't play adventure games very much, and I especially don't really play them on my YouTube channel. So it's, trying to read this aloud is just, I'm not used to it. So, alright, so we're going to actually use the white gem here, and we're going to use it on this little indentation, this little socket. The gem fits perfectly in the hole. A small crystal sphere magically appears on the stand, and we're going to take advantage of this crystal sphere. Now there is actually this guy right here. The door is open. You don't want to go down here because you'll die. Basically like the ladder snaps and you fall to your death. So we're going to open up this door. Fear grips you as you enter this hot room. So basically there's a dragon in the back sides. What we want to do is actually pick up this shield first. And the dragon spews out fire at you and you block it with your shield. You raise your shield just in time to block the dragon flame. And we want to take two things here. We want to take the hammer. Again, flame spews forth. Use the shield for protection. It's getting hot. You don't know how much longer you can stand it. Now that's a hint that your shield is going to melt away. So we're going to take this spear. Again, flame spews forth. Use the shield for protection. And that's it. You could use the helmet. You could grab the torch. We're going to skip that. We don't actually need those. And we're going to come back over here to the right, and then once we do this, we can go back to our first intersection with that hidden passageway. And we're going to go ahead and use a a torch. You can tell how the torch, you know, it's the animation or the sprite is smaller, basically indicating that the torch is running out. And so we've just lit a second torch. What we're going to also do is take our sphere and we're going to toss it into the water. You drop the sphere into the lake and notice the ripples disappear as the water turns into ice. And now this lets you walk across and then take this skeleton's key. And what we're going to do is, because the sphere is still underwater, it's kind of hard to tell, obviously. But if you try to take it, it'll actually tell you. You can't take it. Let's see what happens when we look at it. The crystal sphere is as cold as ice. That doesn't really help us. But there are certain parts in the game where just like trying to take something or trying to look at it will give you a hint on like what its actual state is. Like right here, the sphere is either under the ice or it's stuck in the ice. But what we're going to do is use the torch on the ice, which allows the sphere to float back up. The torch melts away the ice over the sphere, allowing it to float to the surface. Not surprisingly, the lake quickly refreezes. And we're going to go ahead and take the sphere again because we do need this. And that's that for pretty much this portion of the castle. So we're going to work our way back. And actually, we need to come back here anyway, because I believe we have the key 2. Yeah. We're going to go ahead and use key 2 on this little door here. Oh, as you enter, you can see a sword and a sling inside. We're going to go ahead and use both of those things. And we're going to use both of these things for a very specific part in the game, which probably won't be coming up too far from now. And we're going to go ahead and go through this hidden passageway. As soon as you enter the room, you see an arrow on the front wall. And what we're going to do is we're going to take that arrow. We're going to need it for later on in the game. And unusually, you can't take these torches, but you can use these torches. It's a hidden door. There's a spiral staircase leading down. Now, if you try to go up top here, that ledge basically breaks down, so you can't actually get up there. The ledge wasn't strong enough to hold you. You fall to the ground and land hard on your rump. Alright, so we're going to go through this area. You stand at the edge of a deep chasm. From the darkness below arise screams of the undead. See, I like how if you actually read the stuff in this game, it definitely provides like a foreboding atmosphere, which is pretty cool. This cave is hewn roughly in the chasm's wall. So this right-hand bridge, we don't want to go across that. We're going to revisit it later on, though. It houses one of the most important items in the game. So we're going to go up on this left-hand side. What's this? A wraith is standing in your way, barring your path. So what we're going to do is actually use, interestingly, we have a second torch, which is separate from our other ones. It's a special torch. What do you want to use this on? And we want to use it on the torch. Oops, sorry, we want to do it the other way around. We want to use our torch on that torch. The torch burns with a strange white flame. With a shout, you throw the flaming torch at it. So basically, you throw that special torch at the wraith, and it basically kills it. The white flame engulfs the undead apparition. When you open your eyes again, the wraith is gone. And so we're going to use the take function, grab a couple of these torches here. And then we're going to grab this thing up here. It's actually a cloak. Now, what's kind of interesting is there's actually 2 separate ways you can go here. Well, it tells you there's 2 separate ways you can go. It's too high for you to reach. So there's another passageway up here that's not even really displayed on screen. And you can't go there. It's just there on this movement map. Maybe that's intentional. Maybe it was just something that was chopped out, you know, in the development process. Who knows? So let's go ahead and go through this door. This small stone chamber is lined on one side by 2 barred portals. First thing we're going to do is we're going to actually come here. There's actually, you can see an outline of a door. You feel the ground shake as the rock moves slowly aside to reveal a passageway. The cold water from the limestone drips on your neck, sending shivers down your spine. And so what we're going to do is we're going to use our blue crystal. or our blue gem, sorry, and pop that in there. As soon as you place the blue gem in the hole, you hear the sound of grinding stone. The wall slowly rises to reveal a magical image of an old wizard. Listen, warrior, the Warlock Lord can only be defeated by thy courage and the Staff of Ages. So he's basically hinting that the Staff of Ages is necessary to beat the game. Remember, 5 to find, 3 for the staff, 1 to be the key, and 1 to be thy pathway. Have thy wits about thee, warrior, fare thee well. Reminds me of playing Dragon Warrior, the original in the NES, when they basically added thy and thee on everything in the game. It's pretty funny, thinking back to it. The wall slides back into place, hiding the image from your sight. A scroll appears. And we don't actually need to take the scrolls in the game, we just need to open them. The scroll reads, "As the shadow of the wind, thou shalt be." Humana. And this is one of the spells we're going to need for... You pretty much need every spell you get. I mean, they're here for a reason. And the scroll quickly vanishes, and now we can go back to the previous room. And so what we're going to do is read this scroll here. 5 to find, 3 or 1. 1 gives access, the bladed sun. The silver orb to banish below. The staff of ages to vanquish the foe. Joining 2, the golden blade. The last to invoke, the platinum horn. And that basically tells you mandatory items you need to use at the very end of the game. And so what we're going to do is we're going to look at these bottles. And sometimes if you look at things, it kind of gives you a hint of what they are. It's a small silver bottle. What is it? It sure smells terrible. And then this one is, this small silver vial glows with a lustrous shine. You notice that the bottle is impossibly light. That gives you a hint. So we want to take the bottle that feels impossibly light. If we drink the substance in here, it'll make us float and it'll allow us to get past that rickety bridge that we saw on a couple of rooms prior. We don't want to consume the other vial though, because it'll kill us. What we're going to do here is just look at this, Epor. This sign reads Epor. Epor, Epor, Epor. You got it! It seems to be some sort of magic word. And so, it's rope spelled backwards, basically. And now if you go and you go down to your spells section and speak Epor, there are many strange things in this world. When you said the magic spell, the rope moved. Having stretched up to the hole, the rope stops moving. So there we go, we can actually climb up the rope now, and we're gonna go ahead and take this torch and work our way up. We're pretty much done with this whole first section of the castle now. This room full of mirrors reminds you of the 11 the Elven Funhouse at King Otto's Fair. Alright, so we're gonna take the torches here as well. And we're going to also take this broom. There's a trick you can do with this broom later on in the game. You'll notice there's 3 mirrors here. You can actually bash them open with a hammer. That is why we picked up the hammer from that dragon room. You only want to bash open the center one, though. If you bash open the other ones, one of them sucks you into a vortex. And I think the other one kills you as well. Bellowing like some Norse god, you smash the hammer into the mirror. You shatter the mirror, revealing an iron door. And the door is locked. So what we need to do here is we need to actually take the cloak and we need to basically equip it. So what we're going to do is we're going to use it on ourselves. Or on ourself. You try the cloak on and find it very unbecoming. It barely fits over your armor, but that's okay. We're going to use key 3 to open up this door, and we're going to go through. This is a smoldering hot room, and what we're going to do is go ahead and use our sphere, and we're going to toss it onto the flames, which makes them go away. The Hellspawn flames quickly vanish as soon as the sphere touches them. And with that, we're going to go ahead and go through this door. A sharp, cold wind whips over the ledge of the deep, dark chasm. And we're going to go ahead and activate another torch. As you can see, that music is kicked in. Just like so. And if we try going, we get stopped by a troll. A troll appears and says, "This bridge is mine. It'll cost you a gold coin to cross." Well, you don't have gold coins at this point. So what we're going to do is we're going to get violent. And we're going to take the spear. And we're going to use it on the troll. The troll falls silently into the dark cavern. You listen, but you do not hear him crash. And we're going to actually have to come back past that bridge, and we're going to meet the troll again later on. But we're going to use a spell to get past him that time. The spell doesn't work the first time. It only works the second time, which is weird. The moon casts a brilliant shadow over the grounds of the courtyard. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take that rock I picked up earlier, or stone, and we're going to equip it into our sling. And we're going to load it into our sling. And now we're going to use the sling. Then we're going to use it on this Cyclops-looking guy here. As soon as you start twirling the sling, a magical influence takes over your body. You cry out, "Death to the Philistine," and release the stone. Bullseye. Now this guy isn't actually dead, so you want to take this sword here and stick it into him. You drive the sword deep into the Cyclops. Blood pours out of the wound and onto the grass. Of course, you don't actually see it because this is an NES game and lots of things were censored over here back in the day. The crank turns rather easily. At the end of the rope, there is a small bucket. So you basically want to use the crank. It brings the bucket up. And then you want to look into the bucket, or open the bucket, technically. The bucket is open. And it reveals the gauntlet. We need the gauntlet for a couple rooms forward. And with that, we're going to go ahead and push forward. So we're actually pretty much halfway through the game already. The Shadowgate is not a very long game when you know what to do. It's a long, drafty hallway with one flight of stairs and several open passages. I'm going to go ahead and take this torch. Always take the torches, just to make sure you don't run out. But if you're feeling torch E, you can burn the carpet just because you can. Doesn't really do anything on this one, but... Alright, you stand in a small library. So there's a couple things we're going to do here. First, we're going to open up this desk right here to reveal a bunch of things. This is some scrolls. We're going to go ahead and just read the scrolls. We're going to open the scrolls. The scroll 3 is open. Lands under the heavens, the key to the world. Terra Terrak. And this is a spell we're going to actually use in the next room coming up. And we're going to go ahead and just read this scroll as well. To move the sun from far to near, light is what the darkness fears. Instantum Illumina. And we're going to use this spell later on as well. Now we need to take the glasses and the key. And actually I'm kind of curious here. Can you just do a shortcut and... Yeah, you have to take it before you can use it. And we're going to go ahead and just scroll up here on our cards. And we're going to look for the glasses. And we're going to use the glasses on ourself. Or myself. You try the glasses on and they fit perfectly. You can see very well. And that's going to allow us to read this book here. Wow, with these glasses you can understand and read what you could not before. Not that we tried before, but I already knew what to do, so... The light grows faint, the path winds round. Where life is lost, wisdom is found. The seed of the dream, for the evil is free. Where the sword is hung, he must place the key. A bridge to from, amidst burning death, a demon to guard. Mutari Rizeth. And that's a spell we're going to need later on as well. So normally if you look at this book without the glasses, the text is all garbled and whatnot. This map here, you can actually take it. If you get to this Sphinx later on, which isn't going to be too far from now, if you decide to play his riddle game, I'm going to show you a workaround to that. You might need the map. So there's one of those items you can take. Alright, so we're going to use our red gem, which is the last of our 3 gems we picked up behind that waterfall. The bookcase slowly slides away, revealing a hidden passage. This room is dominated by a large fireplace set in a red brick wall. Now there's a few things you can do here. You can take the poker stick, the bellows up here, and the cup. You can also use your torch if you want on the, you know, the firewood. Doesn't really do anything. You can also use your torch on the carpet if you want. You can also jump to your death by jumping through that window, but I don't recommend doing that. So what we're going to use is our spell, Tarak. A large crack appears around the equator of the globe, and basically what that does is it allows you to open up the globe here, which reveals key 6 and bottle 5. We don't actually need bottle 5, so we're just going to take key 6. Not sure what bottle 5 does, but I'm not really looking to find out. Alright, so we're going to go to this room, and there's a couple of things we need to do here. First, we need to analyze this this ground. You notice there's a slightly off-looking tile here, and if you use it, the stone rises slowly out of the floor. A shining vial is inside it, and now this is mandatory to get past another room shortly on in the game. The water is in hand. And you can pretty much look at all these objects. All of these objects can be taken here. It's an empty test tube and a wooden rack. It's a silver vial. This small silver vial glows with a lustrous shine. This is the bottle number 2. So in case you use bottle number 2, there's actually a couple of extra ones here, which is nice. That's another one. This jar is extremely slimy. And then there's a horseshoe here. You can also pick that up. You don't want to open up this gate here. This little door. It reveals basically reveals a monster that will kill you. I forgot to read that, so sorry about that. But basically what we're going to do is we can't actually grab this right now. We have to equip the gauntlet to do it. Let's go ahead and find the gauntlet. I just actually passed it. I'm going to use it on ourselves. You place the gauntlet on your hand. It feels like it was made just for you. And now with that, we can take this flute. By using the silver gauntlet, you remove the flute easily. The sound of the water splashing is music to your ears. Now what we're going to do is use the flute. The sound of the flute is very pretty indeed. It seems like you wake from a dream only to find a hole in the tree. Is it real? The flute's music is like magic. And we're going to go ahead and take this, which is basically a ring. The ring is in hand. And now we can exit. Now the game actually kind of glitches out a little bit. It kind of like gave me a hint that like the rug could be burned. But it's actually mandatory to burn this carpet. So if you burned carpet before, hopefully you'd be inclined to burn this carpet. A key can be seen underneath, and we're going to go ahead and take that key. Now if we wanted to, I think we could also use the torch on, let's see. Yeah, you torch the tapestry. Oh, music kicked on, so we need to light ourselves another torch. And this is where we need to use some keys. I always forget which keys do what. So we'll try key 5 on that door. And we will try key 6 on this door. And we will try key 4 on the bottom door. Alright, so we're going to come up here. This is where the Sphinx is. It appears to be a Sphinx. It looks at you indifferently. So, if you try to cross, the Sphinx asks you a riddle. And we don't want to do that yet. What we want to do is find our broom. And this is a funny, I don't know if it's a glitch or if this was intentional, but if you use the broom on the Sphinx, he says, "You have correctly answered my riddle, warrior. You may now pass." And so it gives you basically one free pass up to the next room. A telescope is beside the window. A star map is on the wall. This must be an observatory. And if you wanted to, you could read this scroll here. I don't think it's necessary. Observing the stars, the Throne constellation appears once every 5 summers. Legend says that it is a portal to another land. And you can also look through the telescope as well. As you peer through the telescope, you are amazed by the clarity of the night sky. So what we're going to do is we're going to take what's in this map right here, which is a star. But what's interesting is you also have to open it afterwards, which reveals a rod, which is necessary to take. And we're going to also go up top. Remember, you can fall out windows in this, so don't just click on random windows, otherwise you'll fall out and kill yourself. You're so captivated by the woman's beauty that you momentarily forget her predicament. Yes, in the moonlight, she is even more beautiful. Well, she's not actually a woman. She's actually a monster. So we are going to take that fancy schmancy arrow we found earlier, and we're going to use it on her. I keep passing over it. I'm like, where's my arrow? Your aim is true as you plunge the silver arrow into the beautiful woman. The beautiful lady suddenly transforms into a wolf. And so with that, we're going to take this blade, which is actually something we're going to attach to our Staff of Ages later on, which we don't actually have yet. Now, the Sphinx Room is pretty important. This shows you a puzzle that you have to do shortly from here. Alright, and we are going to go this way. Although the evening air is cool, this small circular room radiates a fervent heat. And if we try to take this horn, this is the horn they were talking about earlier that's going to be mandatory for the end of the game. A large fireball suddenly appears in the room and causes you to shield your eyes. When you open them, you notice that the fire has changed into something far more menacing. Now, if you try to do anything here, basically the wolf will pounce on you. And so what you need to do is use the water you picked up a few rooms back. And apparently it's holy water. So you use it. The holy water has sent the Hellhound back to the place where it once spawned. Where it was spawned. I am so tired right now, man. This is quickly catching up on me. As far as my reading comprehension goes, I'm just, oh, my eyes are struggling to stay open. I woke up about an hour ago before doing this Let's Play. That's probably why. The flame died out. The room is quiet, as though nothing had happened. And now we can actually take the horn. The horn is in hand. Hold on a second, guys. Alright, so there's probably going to be a quick cut there. I actually just got a call from my mom, which is weird. She doesn't normally call me this late at night. She's going to come by and drop off one of the packages I got in the mail. Alright, so basically what we need to do here is we need to use this star on this guy right here. The star becomes a flash of light as you launch it. Crash! It strikes the wyvern and it explodes into a million pieces. And that gives us the opportunity to take this star. The talisman is in hand. And now we can pretty much just go back. And we can go through this center area. You have entered into a... Oh, not entered. God, my mom calling me just threw me completely off. You have entered a small corridor. Get back with it, Austin. 2 arched doorways wait patiently for you. So we're going to go ahead and take these torches, as usual. And we're going to go ahead and go this way. So that rod we got from that starry map, we're going to use it here. From this windy ledge, you can get an idea of the size and the strength of the castle. So let's go ahead and use that rod. Suddenly the sky seems to be on fire as a bolt of pure lightning strikes the rod. you're startled to see a skeletal hand rise from the hole that was formed at your feet. And basically what this is going to allow us to do is basically get our staff, which is going to be necessary for the end of the game. Lightning lights up the countryside as you stand on the lookout point. So there's two objects here. You don't want to touch the one on the right because it'll lead you to your death. So we're going to just open up the bag here. There's a couple of necessary items here we want to take. So there's a big coin. The big coin is necessary, as well as at least one gold coin. And I'm going to go ahead and just stick with one. I don't think we're going to need the other ones. And we're just going to work our way back. We're going to actually keep working our way back. Because now that we have the wand, we can actually get the staff. So we just keep going back. And we're going to go down. We're going back to that old rickety bridge. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and use bottle number 2. And we're going to use it on ourselves. You drink the liquid and immediately begin to rise in the air. And that allows us to cross this bridge without falling to our death. And a giant snake confronts you in this small cave. And we're going to go ahead and use the wand on this snake. It's actually a statue. It's actually not a snake. The serpentine statue begins to change. It grows smaller and smaller. It dematerializes and forms anew as a staff of tremendous beauty. And this is basically the Staff of Ages. And now we can exit. And we'll go back to where we were. So there's a little bit of backtracking in this game, but not a ton. The game's not very large. So if you ever need to go back, don't feel bad. It's not going to set you back too much. And if we try to move forward, the troll comes back. But what we're going to do is speak Humana, which is a spell that's just going to bypass him completely. As soon as the magic is invoked, you lose sight of yourself. You're as invisible as the wind. And we're going to go ahead and light ourselves another torch. And there we go. Alright, so we need to just click on the door properly, because I wasn't, apparently. Alright, so you're in a small throne room. A skeleton wearing a gold crown sits on a throne in front of you. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that scepter we got from that mummy, and we're going to give it to this guy. And as soon as you give the scepter to the skeleton, the seal on the pillar lowers. You can see a ring-shaped hole, and that basically gives us a hint that that ring we picked up needs to be inserted. The ring fits perfectly. The throne magically rises, revealing a secret passageway. And, you know, if you're OCD, feel free to burn the rug. Just because you can, not because you need to. Alright, this hallway is made of large granite slabs. So this is actually kind of interesting. If you try to take this left path, the far left granite slab will fall down and kill you. So you don't want to take that left path. It's a death path. I'm trying to pick up this torch. There we go. But we can just go ahead and go forward here. The opposite wall... On the opposite wall are a pair of stone beasts guarding a dark archway. So these aren't statues, they're actually gargoyles that will kill you. So you don't want to try to just run through there yet, but you can go to this right-hand side. Sulfurous fumes rise from the hot molten lava some 30 feet below you. Swimming would not be wise. Oh man, this game. Alright, so what we're going to do is use this spell, Motari. The The statue lowers and a large platform rises out of the lava. You now have a way to cross. And we can just go forth. Stalagmites surround this room just like cavernous jaws of a huge beast. And so we're going to go ahead and use our use function here. And we're going to go right, middle, and then right. And then that reveals our silver orb. The cylinder lifts with a shuddering sound. You're momentarily dazzled as the darkness is lit by a blinding flash. The silver orb is revealed. Alright, so this silver orb is one of the things that's necessary as well. If we wanted to, we could probably use the orb on the staff. Not yet. I wonder if you could do it now, or if you have to wait for the last room. So we'll try to use the blade on the staff. Let's see. Yep, suddenly lightning begins to flash in the room. Then the golden spike slides smoothly onto the staff and locks into place. And then if we wanted to, now we could use the orb we just got on the staff. Light cascades through the room as the staff becomes a living entity. Alright. Alright, so we're gonna work our way back. My mom actually just arrived and I went and picked up the package she brought over. But I chopped all that silence out. So, you're in a dark and gloomy caverns. This is where we need to use our Illumina spell. Suddenly the cavern is so bright that you have to shade your eyes. It takes you a few moments to regain your senses from the Nova Burst. It seems the gargoyles were also affected and haven't yet recovered from the spell. So this basically blinds the gargoyles and allows you to get past them without an issue. The room seems to be made solely for the purpose of housing the well. And there's a door here that's locked. You can't actually go through it. There's no way to open it. But what you can do is open this. And then that big coin we grabbed a few screens back, we're going to go ahead and use that. Oops. Wrong function. Got to use the use function. We're going to drop it into the well. As soon as you throw the coin into the well, a huge wind erupts from within it. It reminds you of the small dust devils you see in the autumn months. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump down the well now. The wind carries us safely. The swirling winds carry you down to the deep well and set you gently into the cavern below. You stand above a beach looking down upon a river. So what we're going to do is use this gong over here. After the gong sounds, a specter materializes right before your eyes. The ghostly ferryman doesn't look friendly. You hear a faint voice asking for a fare. Alright, so we're going to use that gold coin we picked up, and we're going to use it on the ferryman, and he's going to take us across. And this is the second to last room in the game. You climb aboard the tiny raft to soon reach the opposite bank. A stone skull stands against the far wall, screaming silently. For some reason, you get the feeling you are standing on sacred ground. And what we're going to do here is we're going to take that talisman. We're going to use it on this far left slot over here. The artifact, known as the Bladed Sun, is now secured and in place. And then lastly, we need to use the horn we picked up earlier. The sound of the horn echoes loudly in your ears. Suddenly, you hear the sound of grinding rock. The jaw of the skull begins to descend. Hot wind erupts from the mouth, creating the illusion that the stone skull is alive. The cavern that you have entered is by far the largest your eyes have ever gazed upon. From the depths rises the most powerful creature that has ever existed, the behemoth. Your stomach knots up as you stare at this new horror. The beast is indeed incredible. You wonder, for a moment, how can you defeat such a creature as this? And what we're going to do is we're going to use that staff, the Staff of Ages. We're going to use it on the beast. You pray as you raise the Staff of Ages that it has the power that the prophets claimed. The staff pulsates with power, and a beam of light explodes from it, striking the behemoth. And the behemoth gets pissed off, grabs the warlock, and drags him down to hell with him. And that concludes Shadowgate. That is the final action in the game. The creature screams in agony, thrashing back and forth. In his rage, he grabs the Warlock Lord and descends into the depths forever. You can hear the Warlock Lord's screams fade into silence. Suddenly, it is very quiet. A beautiful light seems to fill the cavern. The morning sun, you say to yourself. It is over. Although exhausted, you lean on the Staff of Ages and begin your long journey home. And then this takes us to our last screen. Word of your historic quest has already reached the farthest parts of the land. You are triumphantly greeted as you enter the gates of the royal city of Stormhaven. Moments later, you are ushered into the royal palace, where you are greeted by the king. And the king says, I know what thou hast done, brave one. The world would be dark, forever without thee. Sorry, the thous and these just is hilarious to me. And now it makes it look like it's over, but it actually pauses for a few moments, and then it gives you the rest of the text. Normally you could just skip through text, but right here it kind of forces you to read it. You are bestowed a kingdom to rule in the king's fair daughter's hand. As you leave the throne room, you know that although this quest is over, others await. After all, the bards will need new legends to sing of, and new tales to tell. The first stories end. Honestly, if I just went through that whole adventure, I'd be like, I'm retiring. After all the crap I deal with in that castle, I'd be like, I am done. I'm retiring. I'll take my kingdom and my wife, thank you, and I'll stay there. There was a sequel to Shadowgate. It was Beyond Shadowgate on the PC, the TurboGrafx CD or Turbo Duo. And I'm not sure if Beyond Shadowgate was actually available on like the Mac or something like that. I'm gonna have to look into it. There was also later a Shadowgate 64, which I don't know if it really was. I don't know if like the original developers of Shadowgate had their hands in that one. But the Shadowgate series did continue. There was eventually a Game Boy Color port of this NES game as well, which I do recommend trying out if you've got a Game Boy Color or a way to play Game Boy Color games. And yeah, so the series did continue, and Icom Simulations, they did continue to make other point-and-click adventure games after the first Shadowgate, several of which also got ported to the NES, such as Deja Vu and The Uninvited. We'll probably eventually go through those games sometime. I just have to relearn them. Relearning Shadowgate was fun. I relearned this about a month ago, and I've ran through it a couple times since then. And, it's a game I've always liked. It was a game that, as a kid, it kind of creeps me out. And, as an adult, knowing where to go and what to do, it's just fun and relaxing to go through the game. It's interesting seeing the environments, and, if you mess up, seeing the types of deaths there are in the game and things like that. It's the kind of game where, once you finish it, you're probably not going to play it again. Or maybe you'll loop through it a couple more times, and it'll be a while before you go back to it. But it is a game that's worth playing. I think it's a really solid NES game in the adventure genre. There's not a whole lot of, I don't know, I'd say really fantastic adventure games on the NES like this. Point and click, particularly, and I think Shadowgate is definitely one of them. And if you want to try a point and click adventure game on the NES, I highly recommend checking out Shadowgate here. So I apologize for the hiccups, guys, and this playthrough, with my mom coming over. That was definitely odd. She doesn't normally call me this late at night, and the only reason I picked up the phone is that I thought maybe something was wrong. And it turned out, no, she was fine. She just wanted to bring me my package over. It's a package from Japan, so... and also, my reading isn't the best when I'm playing a game like this. It's definitely odd. My throat's also really dry right now and almost kind of sore, so that doesn't help. Like, it's kind of like... It's kind of like cottonmouth in a way, but, like, my throat is also, like, super dry. It feels like something's in there, so that makes it hard to read this aloud as well. But I hope you still enjoyed this Let's Play. Again, it is the start of October 2017 as of recording this, and, you know, for the upcoming month, it's all horror-themed videos, and so stay tuned for that. I got a bunch of different things up my sleeve, both Let's Plays and live streams as well. So, thanks again for watching, guys. If you have any questions or comments about this game, or want to reminisce or something like that, if you made it to the end, feel free to post a comment down below. Yeah, we'll talk there. So, alrighty guys, I'm out. Thanks for watching again, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, take it easy.